Good morning, everybody. Hope you can hear me okay. A little sick this morning, so bear with me. A bit of a cold going. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Appreciate you joining in, waiting for the live stream. Go over the Nasdaq future. May do today, possibly. If you're new to the stream, typically what we do is we go over a technical analysis and a market analysis, looking at technicals, which are charts. Looking at the charts, we do look at trend lines, what price is doing, price action, stuff like that. And we also look at fundamentals, what possibly driving the price. So Mondays, oh, I'm sorry to hear you got COVID last week. I had COVID last year. Hustler for life. um, we look at what it may possibly do this week, and just kind of go over the market in general. So one thing is, let's see, I did roll over my contracts. We can see here on the market analyzer, we are getting more volume now on new contracts, the June contracts. See here on the Nasdaq, we're 100,000 on the March and just at 107 on the new contract. Also on the ES, we've free and looks like on the old contract. So just barely above it. I bet this will increase even more as the market opens. So it seems like the rollover is now in effect. You haven't rolled over your contracts. I would suggest you do it today, possibly tomorrow. Um, I do have a 500 volume chart over here on the micro contract. 1 minute. You know what I'm going to do though is I'm going to change this to old build contract. I don't know what. Change it to the not micro contract. I just want to compare cumulative delta. You can see we're negative 880 on the new contract, but negative 2000 on the old contract. So rollover week is always kind of weird. Delta and particularly Delta is always going to kind of give you not mixed signals, but like you can see, they're both negative, but the one on the old contract is way more negative. But the structure appears to be the same. So I'm not going to rely so much today on the structure or on the number. I'm going to rely more on creating the structure on it. We got to trade the new contract. That's what we're going to trade. Sorry, just hit the mic. All right, let's look at big picture, what's going on this thing. So we can start with the weekly, just see how last week's candle closed. It's obviously Monday morning. Bearish candle this week. The candle from the previous week was super bearish, particularly with the band opening up. I use Bollinger Bands 20 to 2 for entries and exits, find targets. Uh, you know, broke last week's low, came way down. If you were more of a swing trader, this would have been excellent bearish position on. Fell down last week, bearish last week. Got an area of support down here at 13,000, which was late February's low, and it's also kind of corresponding here with lower band on the week. So 13,000 is going to be a big level. I think if it gets through that, then it's going to want to continue to drift down. That's a massive area. Daily, what's going Friday's candle, very bearish from Friday's candle. We've rejected this trend line, which we have drawn out, plus the 20 SMA on the daily, and have this massive rejection of that trend line. Looks like it wants to probably come back down to 1,000. 13,000. I suspect it probably would want to break actually through 13,000 and fall down a little bit more. The situation in Ukraine is not better if it, and not that the news headlines drive anything, but talk is becoming a little bit of, World War III type situations, and some of the photos and news, absolutely. It doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime. I feel like that negative news around that is just going to drive markets down even further, and they're so overextended. Our COVID rally and Trump stuff, Trump driving up markets, that seems like it's going to want to come down further. I could actually see it coming down to 12,000 over the course of the next months, but this 13,000 is going to be a real key level. I think if it gets through this level, it's going to want it's going to want to move down into this area here. It's got to get above, say, 14,000. Have a little bit of a chance of making kind of a comeback up in the way things are going right now. Um, 4 hour. This was our trade from Friday. If anybody caught our live stream Friday, we got massively chopped up. Price was down here around this trend line in this area. End of the live stream, we finally took a short and captured a trade in here. That was good. I didn't particularly like the video on Friday, to be honest with you. After I watched it, after I posted it, seemed like I was just trying to get a win and post it up on YouTube. But it was the trade I kind of wanted to take, and it was also good for me just to kind of see this breaking and actually move away. But braggy like that. But I hadn't done an actual YouTube video in over a week. I'm really trying to grow the channel, so being able to put one together and post it as an actual video rather than a live stream. I wanted to do that before the glad that was out at least. But looking back at the live stream and the trading for that day, it was a lot of chop, trying to find that short, closing out, getting short again, closing out, getting short again. Not really managing the overall trade better. I should have been adding at those higher ends of that range, consolidating. You're not adding, but that should have been where my position originated from, was at the higher end of that range, and then possibly adding to it lower. I kept entering in the middle of the range and chopped up. Live and learn. See where we opened last night. We had a little bit of a gap up last night on the weekly market open, which kind of surprising. See where we opened last night at 5 p.m. Central Time. Gap up on that. If you don't know what a gap is, there's a gap between the previous close and the open. So we've got a gap right there. Usually that would be like a bullish sign. Closed at 13,300. About a 300 point, a 30 point gap up. 30 point gap up, so not crazy, but something I don't know if it's even to be mindful of. We clearly came in and filled that gap. If it wanted to go back up, you have a little bit of a false breakout here, the upside, and big bearish candle coming down. Seems like we're ranging in here at the moment. This level is going to be a big level for 4,040 area. We've got this rejection level here, night session. Plus, it's the top of the band. 1 hour. I'm going to mark out the 20 SMA on the hour as well. Um, um, just looking at this, I'm not quite seeing a trade. To be honest, this looks like a potential chop zone where we pop above the 20 SMA. You think we're going to come up and test the upper band on this thing. But it's a false breakout, and we come back down and possibly break lows, but then come back up. It's like pretty choppy now. Yeah, I'm not quite seeing it. if I was just dropping down to, a 5 hour chart right here, we've got this big bearish move, a weaker buying coming in. We've got this trend line. I would think that if this level right here broke, this area of support broke, come down into here, and that could be a possible trade. Got 9 minutes open. I wouldn't take this in pre-market though. Um, Down to that 30 level down there. There might be a scalp in that if price can kind of hold up here in pre-market, not want to try to break first. So I don't want to get in this thing too early. That seems like a trade. This trend line looks like valid. Lots of touch provided support. We're not breaking it. Just find local shorted here. We could look at an overnight session volume profile, see what that's telling us. We're now in the value area low of Asian year profile, overnight session volume profile. This is an, if you want to know which ones, this is not, this is an overnight, this is an, yeah, overnight extended trading hours volume profile. It's been calculating since 5 p.m. Last night. Same kind of setup going on. This bear flag thing where a lot of selling going on, weaker buying, break of that trend line to take it down. So that's the only trade I really see at the moment. It's the one developing right now. This is going to be choppy today. Market was open, I'd be looking at short, fresh, or even trying to take that down. But the market is not open, so I'm taking it. But that's really the only. I'm trading the June contract. I'm looking at the chat right now. I'm trading the June contract. June, you can see up here, June charts. So I do have March contract open on another screen over here, just to take a look at Delta and keep an eye on it. See what's going on. Particularly at Delta, I'm really interested in seeing how the Delta structure, but you can even see the volume on the March contract is less than what appears to be less. So yeah, the volume now on the, we just went over this now, but not on the chat yet. Volume now is 103 on the March contract, and we're at 109 on the contract. So there's more volume coming on the June contract. Roll over if you haven't. And I'm sure that's going to increase as the session goes on. It's now officially rollover for me. Same. So I just see who's in the chat. Justin, good morning. Mattis, good morning. Live morning. Legend, SW Plays, Andre. Morning, Chris. That is my sound better there. My USB cable was a bit loose. I just shoved it back in there. Chris, should you be switching your micro contracts? Of up the micro contract volume trade. I don't have usually micro. I would say yes. So this stuff, you can see the volume considerably higher on the contract on. So I would say yes. And my advice, if you're trading the micros, is always to trade off of chart, your chart and technical analysis, level 2 stuff, time and sales, cumulative data, order flow, all that stuff. on the micro. Here's that. On the mini, but you can do order executions on the micro. And lots of times I'll just have like, if I'm doing that, I'll just have a micro chart, like micro chart. I'd have this up with chart traders thing up here. So I would be looking at these screens over here, charting, and then I would be doing my order executions over here on a micro chart. But I would not be trading. I would not be looking at delta volume profile and stuff like that on a micro, because the micro is just a derivative of the mini. Here follows the price action. It follows the price of the mini, and you're going to get much better, more reliable data on the mini than guys. Morning. Yeah, it's looking super choppy. Said this trade here, like probably try to maybe take it down to 30 level, but trading. I'm not going to trade pre-market, particularly because it starts making them, right. We break that level. Let me know if my mic is not working. By the way, if it sounds off. We break that level, but then the market's about to open, so it spikes around market open, spiked out real quick. This is also choppy. I don't know why. I think that just looks, or maybe because I'm having some PTSD. Look at what's, sorry guys, I'm feeling weather. It's kind of a bummer. Looking at economic count today, nothing to tomorrow. Wednesday, retail sales on Wednesday. Out in the morning. Oh, it's FOMC week. FOMC on Wednesday, guys. See on FOMC and roller week in quad witch Friday. Thanks, Tyson. I appreciate that. Not gonna be great for trading, guys. I'm just letting you know. Don't expect to pass any evaluations this week. Got FOMC on Wednesday. Rollover week. It's quad witch, which means options also expire on Friday. Expire on Friday and options expire on Friday. Watching this thing move. Seeing how it came up and just touched the back of that shit off of. Corn BDM. My mic's getting in and out a bit. Man. Oh. Let me know if it. Maybe that helps. I honestly have no idea what any of that stuff does. All the noise gate stuff. I mean, I've got it up to make the sound a little crisp, cleaner, but I just watched a tutorial on how to do it. So now we're coming up back up to the other end of that trend line. Delta's moving up. I'm cautious of Delta today though because it is rollover week. So, but I've got Delta on the old contract also up right now. Volume on the old contract. Let's see. Yeah, you can see the volume on the old contract. These two, 13,365. Oh no, sorry, 120. Ugh, that's the price. 120. Yeah, I'm not feeling well, guys. My head is feeling a bit tight. Down here near these lows. This is kind of where you're gonna get chopped up. You didn't have this trend line here up. You're like, oh man, this looks so bullish. We're gonna come up and pop up here. Trend line's holding. Now we're coming back down. And you're like, oh man, we're gonna fall. You short it, then it pops back up. This just looks like a day where you probably buy the lows, sell the highs, which is not the way that I typically trade. So, not looking great for me. See, today's probably gonna be a base hit kind of day, guys. Even if we break these lows, I don't know. It's gonna really want to come down. But the original trade, you know, that trade that we talked about in pre-market would have come through. Taking your profit already, 30 points. Call it a day, but I'm not taking that in pre-market. That was during the session, that would have been great. Great setup. We can see price now making new lows. Delta's not making new lows. So yeah, buy lows, sell high today, I think is the way to go. Why am I not buying it here? Because I have an overall bearish bias. This thing. This is an overnight volume profile I'm looking at. I should be looking at the session here. Very small range today already. Low volume. See if something sets up first. I don't want to jump into this too quick. Just watching this thing. Just watching. See if it gives me an opportunity. Just watching this thing, guys. Sorry, I'm not enthusiastic about it. It just doesn't look great to me, to be honest. Or, if we blow up, I mean, even a 4 hour, let's just blow up a 4 hour. We've got some pretty big support down here, kind of where near prices. I mean, you're kind of shorting the lows at this point. I don't think it's really, you know, I mean, I shouldn't say that. It could come down here. It looks like I wish I could give like a good trade analysis of it. It just looks like it's bearish, but pretty low at the moment. So it's hard for me to justify taking a long, even though I think we're at lows. It's also hard for me to justify taking a short because I think we're at lows. If that makes any sense. So just take this off. You know, it's just I think this you would get chopped up down here. I mean, even just on that, we can just see how price was looking like it was drifting down. Or, I mean, let's just look at here. That won't. Right here on the open, we've come up, come down. We broke some lows here just on the open a little bit. I guess you'd call it session lows. Looks like it's about to drop, breaks lower, then pops way higher. On here, we said, well, maybe you should buy the lows. So maybe you bought it here, and then you got stopped out here. Then you was like, okay, I'm going to short it. Then you get stopped out up here. It just looks super choppy down here. Again, you could just buy, sell the highs, buy the lows, sell it up here at session highs on a bearish candle in the 500 volume, like that one right there. Short it for scalp. I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys got any trade ideas coming through on this? Oh, we're breaking lows again, so try shorting it here, but I don't think it's. I think that's may get chopped up on it. You break lows and then we start moving up again. So sometimes the best thing to do is just sit on your hands, particularly because it's again rollover week, FOMC week, um, and quad witch on Friday. So this week is gonna suck. Sorry guys, there's probably not gonna be much trading going on this week. I'm just sitting on my hands. There's no way I'm getting sucked into this thing. Anybody else here jumping on something? See, like we break new lows and now we're just popping higher. Sorry, I'm a little sick, guys. I'm like, blah. Too spiky. I can't trust it. Yeah, PD legend. I remember the Trump rallies. Those were the good days. Price would shoot up on some days. All you had to do was wait for a tiny little pullback, take that thing up. The only trade I saw this morning was this setup here and shorting the break on that. And we didn't take it. But that's the only thing I'm seeing at the moment. This thing is no bueno to trade. I would not be starting an evaluation this week, guys. You definitely would want to wait until next week. Looks like we might pop higher here. Back into this trend line though. I mean, I guess if you want to take a short, if price came up to 13,300 this level, possibly taking a short up here. This trend line seems like it was pretty valid. We've got a couple bands up here. And we'll really just have the 1 minute band. But if you get a touch on that and maybe get some bearish price action structure, there might be a short up there. And draw. Look, we've got for all you two-legged pullback fans, ABCD pattern / two-legged pullback. A, B, C, D. Higher now. Maybe up to 13,380 up here. Let's look at an overnight volume profile. Got some resistance up here. Where was that level on all the way up here? See some selling starting to come in. Oh, maybe not a little bit. You can see how Delta was moving up, and now Delta's starting to roll a little bit. Trying to pick the top of one of these though is like trying to catch a falling knife the other way. You really want to see, bearish structure start to kick in. Now we're coming up to that 20 SMA, breaking through VWAP. Excuse me. Nobody wants to hear a sick guy on the live stream. Jeez. 13,340. So now here we go. We get a little push down. Top of the band, VWAP. Top of the band, blah blah blah. Top of the band on the 1 minute. Top of the band on 5 minute. VWAP up there. Delta's starting to move down a little bit. Now we got Delta really pushing up on that. Is that valid though? Because this is rollover week. I don't know. A lot of buying. That's reals. Let's see what my chat says. Anybody in the chat thinking about shorting this? I'm going to put a sell stop right below the support. See if price wants to back down a little bit. If we break new highs, I'll just take it off. We're hitting my 30 level, guys. My 30 levels. Target on this would be, if that does trigger, would just be the 20 SMA on the 5 minute. So getting out like at 77, which is just a little tiny pop. Pop, pop. We can see here Delta though, flattening out. We're at an area of resistance, although that looks very bullish on the 1 minute. Bullish. You're looking at the 290 level to buy it or to short it? That's kind of what I'm looking at, to short it. If it wants to fall back down a little bit. Should move pretty quickly if it's going to do it. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at too. So Zardak. It's running out of momentum here at the top. It's a lot. You can see, I think a lot of people shorted it down there at that level. Probably should have read that a little bit better, I think. Read it a little bit better, got in a little bit better price. That looks too bullish. Son of a bitch. Breaking highs. Shit is right. Still holding on to this thing, man. I don't think it's got. That was bad. That was bueno, bueno. But we're hitting that 20 SMA now on the whatchamacallit, 1 hour. It's hard for me to believe that it's not anything, to be honest. Still watching it. So my big concern on this is it's now kind of like an LVN. That was a great trade. $100. Delta's just not that reliable today, I don't think. Now I gotta close out on that. $1,500. That looks like it's too opened up to the upside. And now it's looking like it's coming back down a little bit. Yeah, the 1 hour candle looks pretty bullish, but Watching all this delta drop in here. You have a pretty big area of support. Delta's really rocketing down now, isn't it, guys? Let's see if it gets through this. Can we hold it to value area low? Can we hold it to value area low? I don't know. See if we can get through the 20 SMA. Oh. Holding that 90 level, it's also the 20 SMA on the 1 minute down there. Son of a bitch. I needed to get through 86, and then I think it's going to open up value area low. But we needed to do it. We need you to do it. The Nasdaq price, please fall. See Delta down here moving pretty aggressively. We also have point of control coming in up here. So this level is pretty key. We're at 86 at the moment. Which is right where we got in before. Remember that? I'm so good at getting at the best, or sorry, at the worst entry levels. That should be my tagline somewhere. The worst entry levels ever. The worst entry prices ever. Well, it worked out, but I don't know if I like that so much. A little nerve wracking, but it worked out. I will say though, if I was watching someone else do that live stream, I would be like, dude, you suck. Like, why would you endure all that drawdown to make 600 bucks? So, this thing's probably going to keep dropping down to 30, I bet, down here. I'm getting out of value area low, taking my profit. That could have been bad. But, Delta at least worked out a little bit up here for us. I'm skeptical of Delta this week just because there's two contracts going. Donatus shit is right. Holy shitballs. He was popping up there. I think it could probably fall down lower. I think it's going to come down to the 30. I'm just going to take my profit. Just watching this here, guys. I think that move to the downside is probably. Up. I don't know. Short 320 here. You were short at 320. 13,320 you shorted it. That's good. That's awesome. That's a way better entry than what I had. Well, I shorted it at 13,311. That's not too far off. But yeah, this candle here would have been a good one to possibly short it. Oh, now it's coming down to my 30 level. Oh, there it is, my 30. Could have had it for another 20, maybe. Now it's done. Now I would officially be done with this trade if I was still in it. You can also see here cumulative delta sideways. So took 30 points. That's awesome, man. Good job, BDM. Love it. Awesome job. Awesome job. But yeah, I think the bottom of this band here on the 5 minute, bottom of the band on the 1 minute, value area low down here. This is all going to be support areas, and that's just where your take profit wants to be, particularly on today, which I think is kind of going to be a little bit of a rangy day. Um, and you just want to sell the highs up here, sell at points of resistance, take profit at points of support, or buy at points of support, sell at points I don't know, guys. I think that's probably gonna be it for me today. I don't think today's gonna be a great day to trade. I don't think this week's gonna be great. I've said it before. Just be super cautious. I would not be starting in an evaluation this week. Number one, it's rollover week, so there's two contracts going. If you're just joining the stream, there's two contracts going at the moment. There's the March contract, which is the NQ03, stands for March 22. There's also the June one going because it's rollover week. If you don't know how futures work, there is expirations to futures contracts. They expire every 4 months, 3 months. Sorry, 3 months. And so we've got two contracts that are currently tradable. Um, we're looking over here at our market analyzer, which is a tool in NinjaTrader, and we can see our two Nasdaq contracts up over here. Each are sharing some volume, which means they're both live and people are trading them. So we've got 181,000 volume on the June, which is the one we're trading, and 147 on the March. You always want to trade the one that has the higher volume when it's during rollover. So rollover will end on Friday. People have to switch over on Friday. The March contract will no longer be valid. It's also options expiry week. Options also expire on Friday, so they call that quad witch indices, futures, options, equities, and there's also FOM. So that's something to consider. It's also FOMC on Wednesday. So FOMC is going to come out with interest rate stuff on Wednesday. It's just going to be a bad week to trade, so I wouldn't be starting an evaluation this week, or at least trading too aggressively or overly trading. If you see good setups, I would take the good setups, but patience will be key. Even looking at my entries on this stuff, I can see that we probably traded on. Just in the chop right there, that looks kind of choppy up here. Although it was a good trade, getting it at the top up here, getting it at the bottom, the break to the low side. The best trade that I've seen all morning was the one we saw in pre-market, which was, let me see, I'll pull this up. In pre-market, we had some pretty aggressive selling coming down, weaker buying, a very valid trend line on that with 1, 2, 3, 4 touches on it. Very valid trend line, and then a break of that trend line down to support, lower end of the band. 5 minute, that would have been an awesome trade to pick up. I don't trade pre-market though, so didn't get it. This is actually the same trade we took on Friday. Over here, you can see on the 4 hour. I mean, this is the same setup, right? With 1, 2, 3 touches on that trend line and the break of that trend line, and we fall. So that's a A+ setup if you ever see it. On higher time frames, you can take it for more points. Obviously, sometimes people ask like, what time frame should you use? That was one of my questions when I first started trading. And chart patterns work, I think, on most time frames. It's just the higher the time frame, the larger the move. And so you just want to be, you need to be able to endure the drawdown if it starts to move against you a little bit. And then on lower time frames, it's going to be a smaller move. So you'd have a smaller stop loss, also a smaller take profit though. So it's just kind of your trading style. The best thing to do is to find a move on a higher time frame like this, and then drop down to lower time frames like the 1 minute, 5 minute, 500 volume, and find a setup on a lower time frame that correlates with the higher time frame move. So that's the way you fine tune your entries. Financial Juice. I've never heard of Financial Juice. Who is Financial Juice? Who is this man? YouTube. I got 70 folks in here today, guys. Thank you for joining. FJ Team, is that Financial Juice? Is that who this person is? I'm always interested to see what people are doing on the YouTube. Oops, I just hit my mic again. I think if I just like touch my mic, it's like I can hardly feel it, but I know that it comes through and the sound is like, I don't know. Somebody like just hit you, smacked you in your ear. Man, there's a lot of stuff on the internet, on YouTube about futures here. I don't know who Financial Juice is, guys. I'm not finding them. Do, 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 do. I'm sure it's like a big site that everybody uses that I don't even know about. They were on news free. It's pretty good. Cool. Cool, cool. Yeah, I try to go to their website. They want me to sign up before I do anything, before I can even look at it. I don't like doing that. I don't like, I get enough junk email just to get a economic calendar that I can get on a million other places. It looks like it's just an economic calendar. Trading, you can make money in trading, but it seems like some people who can't make money in trading try to still make money from trading. It's like they take a bunch of courses over, 3 years or 4 years and spent thousands of dollars on them, and they still can't get profitable because trading is super duper hard. And there's no silver bullet to it. There's no one strategy that's going to make you rich. I hate to break it to everybody. Um, and then they're like, I'm not making any money on this, but I know all this stuff. How about I just make my own course? I just repackage it and sell it to other people. My advice, my strategy, somebody sent me, I think somebody had a comment or they sent me an email. I guess what my strategy is. My strategy is technical analysis and order flow around key levels and risk management, which out of those three things, I'm going to write that down. That is my strategy. Out of those three things, the thing that I'm worst at is risk management by far. Risk management is something I gotta work on. Well, guys, I'm still watching this, so you can see that this looks actually pretty bullish now that we break this 20 SMA. We maybe pop up into this area. I say that because it's just the way that I trade. I typically trade break of support and resistance levels, but I got to get better at trading support and resist. Actually having these support and resistance levels work the way they're supposed to work. This should be resistance up here. It could even be a good bull trap that we break session highs. We hit this level of resistance, and then these bulls get trapped, and we roll down again. But this 5-minute candle looks pretty bullish. You can see we're kind of in an up channel. Not an up channel, but if you ever get lost when you're trading and it looks just funky, just draw a couple trend lines and see if something makes sense. Two lowest points, two highest points. Bit of an up channel. Up channel. Kinda. You guys are probably tired of listening to me sniff my nose and cough here. I've got a home COVID test. I'm not take. Well, I should probably take the home COVID test just to make sure for other people's sake. But I really just don't want. I don't want it to be positive. I don't care if I do have COVID or not. I just don't have to do the hassle of having to change my schedule and do all that. But I guess for the sake of everyone, I need to take the test. Nobody else in my family's sick though, so just me. Pushing higher now, and now we're right at the upper end of that quote unquote channel. Maybe if I draw it like that, then the channel looks a little bit different. Looks bullish though, right? Trying to pick, like I said before, trying to pick the tops is like trying to catch a falling knife, just opposite. Doot. You can draw your trend lines from the touches or from the bodies. Your choice. Player's choice. Well, what time is it, guys? 7 to 10. Day. Yeah, we all got COVID last year, and this was before the vaccine and all that stuff. This was like early-ish in COVID, I think. Like halfway through, like well, not halfway through. We got it. Oh, I can't remember when we got it, but they still was the vaccines and stuff still weren't out. Uh, and now, we had to quarantine for like 2 weeks. We had to do like a full conservative, super conservative regimen. Nobody got really sick, but we all had it. We just had like a cold. The weirdest thing was I lost my taste and smell, which was really odd. But now the CDC stuff is super lax. It's like if you get it, you just gotta like stay home for a few days, and you can just gotta wear a mask for a little bit. You can still go out. Or if you're like a close contact, you just have to wear a mask. It's certainly not like it used to be. And we're all vaccinated, so this looks pretty bullish. It looks like you can see on the 1 minute it may want to pop up again. But I don't want to buy the top. I don't want to buy the top, particularly because it looks bullish over here, but if I look at Delta, Delta isn't really coming along with that. If I saw this candle right here on Delta moving higher, right here, this red one actually moving higher, I probably would have more, I would have considered it, but we're at the top of this channel, which we drew out, so. But this 5 minute, I mean, that's all this looks like. It wants to possibly punch up a little bit. Other indices are red. Sorry, not red. Green. Everybody's green today. Good job, indices. You're all green. But the candles from Friday look horrible for it. All right, so what time is it? 9:15. $600. Look at all that selling going through on Delta. You think we fall back into the value area? Watch and see what it does here. Well, guys, I'm just being a little quiet. I'm just watching this price. Let's see what it wants to do here. Possibly come down a little bit. Or is this a full flag by the break of at the level of the trend line? Bearish on that 1 minute. Question is, what are we hitting? Hitting over the overnight value area high up here. And what support is it hitting? The 20th SMA on the 1 hour there. So what's to do here? Probably a pretty key level, key decision time for it. All right, what do you want to do? Price. Trying to push up a little bit here. Well, real quick, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. 1,000 subscribers. I'm like 50 away, I think. I don't know. Let me see how many I'm away. Boop, boop. Yeah, I'm like 50 away. I would love to get 1,000 subscribers, guys. If you haven't subscribed, I'd really appreciate it. Ooh, this thing is like, it kind of wants to come up, but it just seems like it's running out of steam, which makes me think we may want to fall back down into value area. And it's pushing, it's trying. Maybe up to 13,400. 13,400. You may want to come up here and target the upper band on the 1 hour. Pushing up, making highs. We're gonna hit the upper band on the 1 minute here. It's resistance. And yeah, we're just keep watching this thing, kind of grinding up. Um, back down a little bit here. See. Yeah, I got my line there already drawn out. Oops. Oh gosh, guys. I wish I could give you a better setup. I'm just drawing trend lines. That's all you can do. Don't know what to do. Just draw some trend lines. Figure it out. Chin down now. This will be a big level for it. It's got this low volume node. It's also the value area high. And I'm wondering if this trend line from pre-market is actually may come back into play. So we'll see what it does down here. This will be a big level for it. 13,330-ish. It may give a little spike through and then come back up. But we can see we have this low volume node. If we get through VWAP, we may want to come back down here and come to 13,290. We can get through VWAP. Delta order flow is going to be big on this to see what's going on, but this does look pretty bearish at the moment. So, PD Legend, I've got a tick chart over here. I look at it once in a while, but the 500 volume is really what I'm looking at for like my trigger chart type deal. But this 500 volume is an overnight volume profile as well. So I look at lots of different stuff just to see if I can see anything setting up or not. Again, I like to look at higher time frames. The 4-hour daily and the 1 hour are kind of my higher time frames. The 1 hour is kind of in between that. It's like my bridge to my lower time frames, which are up here. So a lot of charts up there. I'm not trying to look at all of them. I'm just looking for my bird's eye view. What is the bigger trend doing? And then I'm coming down to my lower time frames to try to find opportunities within those higher time frame setups. So hitting VWAP. I'm wondering if it wants to bust through VWAP and come back down to 13.3 maybe. Come down to that support, but maybe it even wants to break the support and start moving lower. We're back through the 20 SMA now on the 1 hour. 15-minute looks, maybe it wants to continue. No, I don't look at New York Stock Exchange tick. I use Cumulative Delta, which is this indicator down here. New York Stock Exchange ticker. You're talking about like time and sales data? I'm sure it is similar. Um, I don't need two of them. We got that break there, VWAP, down to this trend line. Let's see what it wants to do with this trend line. There may be a short if this trend line breaks to bring it back down. 71, 72. Might short at 70, 70-ish. A lot of selling coming through. I'm wondering if this trend line wants to break and then we fall. We take a scalp down to 54-ish. And I'm just marking off these levels. I can see a little low volume node here too. I'll probably just try to get out 50. Just finding my scalps. Yeah, so I think if this support level breaks, it may want to fall back down to this value area low. It may just get at 50, a little bit above 50 just to be conservative with it. But may also break higher here. This may be the valid up channel, and you should be buying this support level instead of being like me trying to trade the break of it. Yeah, SW Blaze, I'm seeing that too. How Delta is moving much lower, and so I'm just waiting for this trend line to break. Now, maybe you want to come in. There's a nice bearish candle there on the 1 minute. Look, it broke higher. You would have got stopped out on that. See how this 1 minute got a couple nice bearish candles there on the 1 minute. I'm just waiting for, this level down here to break. Again at 76, 8 maybe. Like 80. I feel like this level is going to be pretty big for it. Try to take this pop down into this pocket. Thank you for whoever subscribed. I got one more subscriber. I'm just checking this out. I appreciate it. Now it's moving higher, so waiting for these price levels to break. It's, way I like to trade. These two candles look like it was about ready to roll over. What time is it? 9:40, guys. I think let's see what it wants to do here. I'm about ready to call it quits, and then it's like about ready to give me this trade possibly. Big level down there at 86.90 level. See it. Support this trend line. See if we get through that. Just watching price. We're just trying to pick up this high volume node right here. Very bearish candle on the 1 minute. Oh, get tired. Yeah, retina. Yeah, I took a short and held it and added to it as it broke lower. We're breaking higher. Is it gonna want to push higher? Holy chop city. Get the big aggressive move down, pull back, 20 SMA value area high, nice bearish candle on the 1 minute. And if we break higher, that's going to take out a lot of short sellers and it'll probably pop back up into here. My trade that I'm looking for right now is we were in this up channel on the open. Been in this up channel. I'm waiting for this up channel to break down and for us to fall back into value area low, but I need this up channel to break. And so I've got a sell stop right here. I think that if price does break this level, breaks the trend line, it's going to pop pretty quickly down into this area. We've got Delta confirming some bearish movement. So that's my trade setup. Yeah, it's the 20 EMA. The 20. The one on my chart's a 20 SMA. You're using the EMA. That's fine. But yeah, another bearish candle pinned through it. Looks like it does want to roll over. Well, guys, I don't know if this is going to trigger or not. Several bearish candles over here on the one. That seemed like a very valid trend line. We've got touch, touch, touch. Starts to break down. I suspect we will move into value area low. See if it wants to charge down there on this. It's thinking about it. It's thinking about it. Oops. Outlook's particularly strong. Moving through that, and look, you can see as it broke that trend line, you see how point of control came in on that? It's got a lot of volume coming through on that trend line break. Still watching it. Still watching it. Hey, James, morning. Donatus, I agree. Let's get a flush on this thing. Oh, baby. Again, guys, if you haven't subscribed, I'd really appreciate it. I'm really trying to get to 1,000. I got 74 in here. I wish you'd told me how many people subscribe that are watching the stream. That would maybe hold back my sales pitch. See Delta dropping. Look at this 5 minutes. See if this 5 minute wants to also close below the 20 SMA. Doesn't seem like it wants to do it right now. It still has 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Still has not triggered our trade here, guys. Let's see what how this 5-minute closes here. We got point of control coming in right at VWAP. It's interesting to me. See how this 5-minute closes. I think it's going to close above the 20 SMA, which is not really what I wanted to see. It didn't seem like we got really any follow through on this candle. I wanted to see it start to drop on that. Get it. But Delta's starting to move down. Yeah, we had daylight savings, guys. I love daylight savings in the spring. Summer is almost here. Let's keep those subscribers coming, guys. I got 953 now. I'm trying to get 1,000. I don't know. I won't get it today, but it's my goal is to get 1,000. I don't know why. It seems just a nice number. And then when people come to your channel, it's like, oh, they've got over 1,000. If you have less than 1,000, people think you're not really that significant. You need some numbers so people come and they're like, yeah, this looks like there might be some value here. All right. I don't know if this thing's gonna break or not. It's had plenty of opportunities to do so, and it has decided not to. Pushing up, pushing up. See the volume profile is just completely shifted. And we're breaking a little bit higher now. I'm taking that trade off. I don't know if it's trying to trap a few more bulls or what, but it's not, it ain't trapping me down there. Let's see what's gonna do. I don't know, guys. I may just walk away with my 600 bucks and not get chopped up on this thing. Do we break these highs and then come up to the upper band on the 1 hour? Delta moving higher on this pullback. Well, guys, I'm going to sign off. I'm staring at this thing too long. I'm about ready to make a bad decision. The only trade that I would really look is I was looking at that, taking that short as we broke this, but as I saw the value area shift there on that, I don't know. It's just not there for me anymore. We've got the higher volume node in here. We've got another volume node up here. We've got this one down here. I feel like price is drifting up, and uh, if it would have gone on this one, that would have been a good trade. But since we broke new highs here, I don't know. Probably need to let it move around a little bit. Again, it's a weird week. I wouldn't be looking for any fireworks this week, guys. I would be taking it super conservative. If you can find one good setup, take the good setup, but don't be trying to force anything. We've got FOMC on Wednesday, rollover week, options expiring on Friday, futures expiring on Friday. It's just going to be a bad week to trade. So be careful. If you see something good, though, take it. If you don't, be happy with what you got. I appreciate you guys all tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everybody joining in. I never thought I'd get 70 folks joining me trading every morning. The first time I ever did a live stream, I think I had like one or two people in there, and it was still cool. I mean, we still chatted and made some trades and did all that. So I appreciate you taking the time to tune in. We'll be back tomorrow, 8:10 a.m. Central Time. And hopefully we can maybe find one or two setups. We will try not to overtrade. Friday was an overtrading day. Try to find one or two setups that work for us and make those quality. So appreciate you guys tuning in. I will be back tomorrow. Thanks a lot, guys.